You are about to enjoy the most amazing rotisserie you will ever eat. Chicken, lamb, pork. If it goes on a spit, it goes on the rotisir. Please watch this short video to get grilling as fast as possible with charcoal. Rotisir, best chicken ever. Rotisir.com. In the box you will find a cast iron basin, 2 big bolts with wing nuts, 2 smaller bolts with nuts, and 4 end caps for the legs. You will find 2 identical mounting brackets, and a left and a right spit mount. There will also be 4 legs, a complete spit, and a sauce tray. There's the star of the show, the motor, that needs a D-cell battery. Let's start assembly by preparing the legs. Each leg has an end with a dimple. Slip the end cap onto the end without the dimple. Once all 4 legs have end caps, check to make sure you can find the dimple on each leg. The dimple locks the leg on the rotisir. Now let's prepare the spit. Find the end of the spit that does not have a crimp and slip the wood spit handle onto the spit. Make sure the metal spit is inserted into the handle as far as possible. Take 1 spit prong and thread it onto the spit at the crimped end. Have the prong facing towards the crimp. Lock the prong about 2/3 of the way to the handle with the thumb screw. There are 2 holes on each side of the base. Take the shorter bolt and hold it in the top hole. The left and right spit mounts have a hole along one side. The bolt poking through inside the basin goes through that hole. Lock the spit mount inside the basin with the nut. You can use a screwdriver and a wrench. Repeat the same for the other spit mount. Now that the spit mounts are securely in place, it's time to attach the mounting brackets. You will need the 2 larger bolts and wing nuts. Turn the basin over and push a bolt through the lower hole. Thread the bracket onto the bolt and screw on the wing nut. Don't over-tighten the nut, as the bracket has to be able to pivot. Repeat the same procedure for the second mounting bracket and make sure it can pivot freely. It is now time to install the legs. Each mounting bracket has 2 prongs, and each prong has a flat part. Align the dimple of the leg with the flat part and push the leg onto the prong. Once the leg is on, twist the leg so the dimple follows a track in the prong and locks in place. Repeat the same procedure for each leg. It is very important the legs are locked onto the prongs, and failure to do this may result in an accident. Set the rotisir on level ground and slide in the sauce tray. Each spit mount has alternating metal tabs. Slide the sauce tray between these tabs so that it locks into the basin. That's it. We can call this the hibachi mode because the spit mounts have tabs to hold the grill for grilling steaks, hamburgers, and whatever else you want to grill. Make a mound of charcoal. The mound's peak should be somewhere halfway up the sauce tray. It's time to light the charcoal and talk some safety. Use solid charcoal fire starter, but if you do use liquid charcoal lighter fluid, don't use more than ½ an ounce, and follow all safety precautions. Make sure the rotisir is on solid, level ground, at least 4 feet from anything flammable. Preferably, Don't use it on a wood deck, and don't put it under an awning or any other shelter that may ignite. Keep children, pets, and any other rotisserie fans away from the unit while in use. It gets hot and has to be treated with respect. Once the charcoal is lit, do not move the rotisserie until the unit is cool to the touch. Do not touch the rotisserie at any time without adequate protection. Properly dispose of the hot ashes after you're done, or just let them burn out. Do not disassemble the rotisserie until it is cool to the touch. The charcoal will take about 20 minutes to light. Once you see the charcoal start combusting into ash, it's time to prepare your meat. To learn how to tie a chicken, check out this video. Let's put the meat on the spit. Remember that prong you put on earlier? Make sure it is lined up to where the meat will be on the spit, so the meat is centered lengthwise. Insert the spit into one end of whatever you're roasting and push the meat onto the prong. Lock the meat in place with the other spit prong. Push the prongs into the meat as far as they will go and screw them tightly onto the spit. The spit has to pass through the meat as close to the center of the weight as possible. The charcoal should be ready by now. I prefer to use a metal spatula with an insulated handle for working with the rotisserie. Spread out the charcoal in the basin as flat as possible. Break up larger chunks and flatten the charcoal. It's time to lock the charcoal in the basin with the grill. Grab the grill by the handle and find the groove between the spit mounts and the basin. There are little metal tabs sticking out. Guide the grill under those tabs. Don't rush this step, and use the spatula to help guide the grill into its place by alternatively tapping the charcoal and the grill. Break up the charcoal, tap it. It will get there with some help. Just be patient. Now for the crowning moment. Gently rotate the basin upward to turn your hibachi into a rotisserie. The whole unit turns 90 degrees so that the charcoal is on the side. Just don't tip the rotisserie over. It must stay on its legs. Insert the spit into the square hole in the motor and insert the spit into the spit mounts. There are several slots you can insert the spit into, so use your best judgment. The motor's stopper goes into the adjacent slot. The motor will make a little bit of noise, just to remind you of the tasty treat coming soon. Now sit back and watch the roasting. It's better than TV. About 45 minutes after you start, you will need to add more charcoal to the basin. First, remove the meat and put it in a safe place. Next, pivot the basin so it is in hibachi mode by pulling down on the basin's front edge. Using a spatula, I hook onto the front of the basin and pull towards me and down. Here is a reverse angle. Then I flip the grill handle out, put my spatula through it, and pull the grill out of its slot. Give it some taps with the spatula's handle if it needs help. Set it down to cool. Now make room for more charcoal. Using the spatula, move what's left of the old charcoal to the part of the basin closest to the sauce tray. Make a trough for the new charcoal. Add new charcoal in the trough you formed, and make sure it is not higher than the rim of the basin so you can slide in the grill. By this time, the grill handle may be cool enough to the touch, but use a glove if it's too hot to hold. Slide the grill back into its slots like you did the first time, helping it by breaking up old and new charcoal. Rotate the rotisir back into rotisserie mode. The old charcoal will light the new charcoal. Replace the spit back into its position and turn the motor on. You're back in business. Wait another 45 minutes to an hour and your food will be done. It takes about 20 minutes per pound. Remove the spit, undo the thumb screw, and slide the meat right off the spit. If you take care of your rotisir, it will last you for years.